Hi, I'm Todd Cooprider with Esoteric, and welcome to our FAQ series. Today's question: how do I tackle single stage paint? First of all, what is single stage paint? You get into older cars, older paints, they didn't use a clear coat system like we have today. So single stage, it's just the color stage on it, just how it sounds. Right out of the view right here, we've got an old GMC Jimmy 1980 with single stage paint on it that we had to work on here recently. But with single stage paint, one of the first things that I would tell you, if you're looking to polish, do any kind of paint correction on a car like that, I would not recommend doing it unless you have a paint thickness gauge. That's the biggest thing with those older cars. You have to think that over the years, people have been polishing on it, people have been sanding on it, people have been doing all kinds of things. They've had repair work. You need to know what you're getting into first. You need to establish that you have enough thickness on that paint to go in and work on it. This Jimmy, for instance, this had the thinnest paint that we have ever seen here in the shop. I mean, there was areas that were measuring down like in the 25 micron range. Obviously, you can't do much of anything with that. But had we not done that and had the ability to measure it and we go in and start polishing, we would have easily burnt through some area, and that's not something that you want to do. The other thing you want to do with single stage paints, speaking of burning edges, you want to look very, very closely at all of the edges on the car. Single stage paint will start showing itself as very thin before it burns all the way through. So if you have a red car and you're looking at edges and you start seeing some pinkish or whitish underneath, you know that there's nothing left of that paint. If you're to go over that, it's going to turn it completely white. So you just want to be really, really careful when you're dealing with single stage. Otherwise, you're going to use the exact same methods, exact same products, exact same tools as you would with a clear coat. But keep in mind, you're going to clog up your pads a lot. If you've got a red car, as soon as you start polishing on it, your pad is going to turn red. So don't freak out as soon as you look at your pad and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of paint on it. That is the nature of a single stage paint. And you're going to go through a lot more pads than what you normally would. It's going to clog it up a little bit more quickly. So keep your pads more fresh. So the biggest take out of this with single stage paint is be very, very careful. Assume that there have been a lot of people polishing before you. Look closely for thin edges and make sure and tape things up accordingly. Hopefully you have a paint thickness gauge to be able to measure. You know, anytime we see anything below about 70 or 80 microns, we know that we're going to be extra careful with that. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight. Check out the next video we're going to link you to here that has 5 tips on paint polishing. You're going to apply that same procedure to your single stage car.